You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from APEX1RADIO. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
Midwest Ball Rolling, the 7th edition, kicking off live from the studio of APEX1 Radio. We are broadcasting from the United States of America, precisely from the whole city of Columbus, which is the state capital of Ohio. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Columbus, Saturday the 10th of May 2025. And of course, we are on the road to Columbus 2025. We're talking about the Veterans Tournaments, the Midwest one, of course, which kicks off on May the 23rd this year. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to APEX1 Radio. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Maxwell Ajit is producing this fresh edition of Midwest Ball Rolling. He's doing that digitally from Valsut in Switzerland. And in today's edition of the show, we are going to be receiving a wonderful side, yet another determined side that comes to Columbus for a kill. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from APEX1 Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll. On APEX1 Radio, it's a beautiful Saturday here. And if you're just joining us on Facebook, thank you so much. You may want to share the video as text it. And if you're doing so on our YouTube channel, do well to share it as well so we can reach the four corners of the world with yet another edition of Midwest Ball Rolling, which kicks off just right ahead. Like we said, share the video as you join us. Then if you're listening to us on APEX1Radio.com or the tuning app, or of course, Radio Guardian, then thank you so much for your time. And the Midwest Ball has begun rolling again for yet another edition of Teams Profiling ahead of the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament that takes place in Columbus, Ohio. And in today's edition of the program, we are receiving yet another very, very ambitious side that is excited to come to Columbus and lift the trophy. Not for child's play, not for a walk in the park. We're receiving the Cleveland area veterans who will be joining us to share their 2025 story. All right, so we have the president, Roland Atanga, who is accompanied by two other great gentlemen of that side. Well, without much ado, let me say welcome to the guests in this edition of Midwest Ball Rolling, beginning with the president himself, Roland Atanga. Roland, how are you doing today? Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest Kanjo, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How is it Akron? How's Akron this morning?
Yes, Akron is fantastic. We have sunshine mixed with some clouds, hence making the atmosphere to be terrific.
Mm. All right, that's beautiful. We're looking forward to a beautiful day today, marked by sunshine, of course. So, once again, Roland, welcome to the program. You are the president of the Cleveland Area Veterans Football Club, correct? Roland, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the line maybe went off or something.
All right. So,
Yep.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I just wanted to confirm that you are the president of the Cleveland Area Veterans FC, correct?
100%.
When did you become president of that club?
Since last year, 2024.
All right, that's wonderful. 2024, 2025, a couple of months ago, I guess.
Yes, sir.
How has the experience been so far as president of a veterans club? Because we have about 48 of those nationwide. So, how do you feel being the president of one of the veterans clubs in the United States?
Being a baby group is kind of like hard to galvanize or to bring together the various veterans, since nearly every member of that club is already affiliated or attached to other mini groups, not quite the veteran clubs. So it's kind of hard to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
But with the energy that my brothers are giving me, and with my own energy put together, which made me to conclude that 1+1 at this juncture is 1.
Mm-hmm.
We have been trying to reach the four corners of Cleveland and why not of Ohio. And hence we said we even try to steal some parables from the Holy Bible, which says when 2 or 3 are gathered, things can happen. So it does not matter even if we are 2, even if we are 3 in a meeting, hey, we go ahead.
That's interesting. 1+1 is definitely 1 when it comes to the veterans movement. It's about solidarity beyond the game itself. So it's about solidarity that reigns across the movement, which is so wonderful. Welcome to the program, Christian Kelefak. How are you doing today?
Hi,
Christian,
Mr.
welcome
Ernest.
to the program.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope that your audience can hear me. Thank you once more, Mr.
They
Ernest,
definitely
for
can hear
bringing
you.
me to this wonderful program, APEX1. Uh, we thank you for the recognition and for also letting other people out there know about us. I'm Christian. I'm one of the administrators of the CAF FC Cleveland. We're a great group. We have our president. He's doing a great job. He has a lot of support from all of the members, including even our coach who will be speaking in a minute. We have a team, unlike all of the other veterans teams out there, we bring our best every day to the field to support and find ways that we can use to improve not just the health of the community, but also to prepare for the upcoming competition that lays ahead of us. And right now, we are making a lot of preparations, within internally and externally to make sure that we reach out, that we showcase a great performance out there. And I'm pretty sure that Columbus would they'll be surprised, and we hope to bring a lot of surprises to the mix. So thank you.
A lot of surprises to Columbus as the Cavs prepare to hit the road for Ohio's chief city come May the 23rd. How long have you been a veterans member?
I've been a veteran member since inception of the group. This was back in around. I want to say the group was born. It was born in November 2021, and we've been striving ever since. We missed the first NVT that year because we are just kind of rolling in. But then we've been to two NVT games, two NVTs so far. I think in the minutes ahead, we're going to hear our performance and how we've progressed profoundly in with since inception. But totally about a little bit over 4 years.
All right, that's beautiful to know. We are speaking with officials of Cleveland area veterans. All right, so Brian Asanka will be joining us as well. He is the coach for that site. As he prepares to do so, let's get back to the president. And well, looks like Brian is back. Let's see if that is the case. We're having some issues with that. Well, but I guess he's back. His name is Brian Asanka. He is the coach for the Cavs. He now joins us on the airwaves as well. Brian, good morning and welcome to the program. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Ines. I'm doing good. Thank you for having us.
How is you're speaking from Akron as well, correct?
Sure.
How is Akron this morning?
Great. It is Saturday morning. It looks sunny outside. I haven't been outside though yet, but it looks sunny. So I think it's gonna be a good day for me to take out the kids.
Perfect. That's good. All right. So we are told you are the coach for the Cavs. When did you become coach for that side?
Yeah, I'm the coach. I've been the coach since the organization was founded.
Okay. How is it like being the coach for a veteran team? There are 48 other veteran teams in the United States, and to be picked out as one of the coaches, that should be something great. But how do you feel?
Well, it's really challenging, you know, but having that force behind you, you know, like seeing what others are sacrificing and pushing you towards the success of the organization actually spurs me up. You know, I'm personally a sports enthusiast. Apart from football itself, I'm personally a sports enthusiast. So I try as much as possible to maybe pull all my family members who are the members of the organization to be part of it, you know.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, and welcome once again. We're going to have a fantastic conversation just to know how prepared you are for the 2025 edition of the Midwest Ball Rolling. For those of you just joining us, once again, thank you so much. If you are watching us on Facebook, you may want to share the video as you arrive on board. If you're doing that on our YouTube channel, do the same. Share the video extensively. And if you're listening to us on APEX1RADIO.com, thank you so much for doing so. And sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy every bit of what we will be presenting to you this Saturday morning here from Columbus, Ohio. We'll be right back with you.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
it has begun rolling. It will roll even more as the days, go by. We are narrowing down to May the 23rd, just 13 days, and it will be the start of this great football fiesta in Columbus, Ohio. Once again, thank you so much and welcome. So the club was created in 2021. Whose idea was that? Roland.
So actually, it was the idea of the entire population of Akron, Cleveland. We've been hearing of veteran groups in other localities of the United States of America, and we said, why can't we also start our own? And on that fateful day, I think it was the 21st of November in Mr. Alondi's house, the first ever meeting started. And since from then, we have been going places triumphantly, elephantly, and here we are.
And what is the status of the club? Is it a non-profit like the others as well?
Yes, it's a non-profit organization, although we are still in the process of signing the books. You know how difficult it is to sign all of those books here in America, but we're in the process of making it official. But right now, as me and you will speak, it's a non-profit organization. We're not there for profit. We are there as brotherhood. We are there as brotherhood. We are there also to keep fit. And Mr. Asanka will not allow us to, to play as we can play at home or in the gym. He make us to go extra miles, forgetting to know that we are parents too, we are of age. But anyway, he's doing a great job.
Christian, tell me about how this team interacts with the rest of the community. I know there's a huge Cameroonian community in the Cleveland area. Just how much of you does the community know about?
We have, like you say, a great community that is constantly they constantly provide support to us. So the way we roll is that we present, we bring ourselves to most community programs or events, and then when there's a celebration, we step up and we show that we are in the house, we're the big boys in the house. I don't know if we call ourselves that. And then we also have community organized games. At least we try to do about 1 to 2 games to bring the entire community of Akron and Cleveland together to show them what we can do. So we make all the preparations, we cook, and then we invite them just to show them, that we are in the community and we're inviting all parents, veterans, any man, because when you look at the foundation of veteran is to improve the health of the elderly or people that are above 35, so they don't just sit at home. It's the platform where you can come on and exercise to improve your health. So we encourage all the older people to come. It doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, come and run the field. You don't have to be the best player. And we use that to bring the whole community together and encourage our wives and our sisters, the children. We bring all of them. We have a field day, an entire day in the field, and we compete between each other. And that's kind of how we interact with the community. And we also have, again, all these different events that we attend to let the people know that we are definitely present.
Tell us about membership, Roland. How large is the club?
So, per the membership, as of now, as we speak, we are 19 registered members. Although in our face sheet, let me put it that way, it's like 35 members. But we know many are called, few are chosen. And it is not a club. It is not like a community club or a community meeting where we go there to bring people together. You must weigh yourself. You must look at yourself, left, right, bottom, and top, to be sure that you can be a member of this club. What do I mean? Hey, this is America. We all came here for greener pastures, and it is unfair that let A be paying the shares of B. A is coming to practice. A is going for activities, just as Mr. Christian have said. And while this B is out there working his dollars, and now if we say, hey, man, come and let us put maybe $1 together and we move ahead, B will keep complaining like, oh, I don't have. Hey, guess what? we take you out of the club. Like, well, we just take you out of the app, or let me say, we take you out of the groups, out of the WhatsApp group. We have not dismissed you. Nope. Think and think again if you really want to be a member of this club, because even in our homes, in our njangis, in our meetings, you go there, you must do a contribution of some kind. Why would you not do that as a veteran? So with such members, we try to take them out of the group, because it's not the best to showcase that we have 40 members. And if it comes to any slight contribution, guess what? 15 members are the ones contributing. 15 members are the ones contributing. So as of now, again, we have 19 registered members.
19 registered members. How often do you meet as a group? Not necessarily for practice. We'll talk about that. But how often do you hold your meetings to discuss other issues, within the group?
We meet monthly in person. If there's no way for us to meet in person, we meet online. Just as I said at the intro, because of so many activities or so many affiliations of members into other meetings or groups, we kind of like try to adjust. For an example, if we have our meeting today and maybe there's a big event in town, hey, guess what? We'll go online and then we'll try to attend that event. So, but in a nutshell, we meet once in a month.
Perfect. Right. So we're speaking to officials of the Cleveland Area Veterans Football Club, the 2025 edition of Midwest Veterans Tournament that kicks off in Columbus on May the 23rd. There is Roland, Christian, and of course, Brian. We'll be right back with you.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from APEX1RADIO. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the
profiling the Cleveland Area Veterans FC. Brian, tell me, do you have a solid 11? Brian, can you hear me? Maybe Christian will take that question while... Brian, can you hear me now?
This line might be slow.
Okay, can you hear me now? Christian, you can take that question while we wait for Brian.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Yes, so the question is, can you line up 11 players, send them to the pitch, they go, and win a game?
Yeah, so right now we are very confident. Just a little bit of history. So when we first started, like I said the last time, we missed the first NBT during upon inception of the group. Then we did go to 2 NBTs. The first one we conceived 26 goals. That was in Atlanta. But
26
subsequently, 26 goals in 3 games.
You're not serious, Christian?
Yes. So we went as the true veterans of the NBT, and we were known at the beginning, as we entered the pitch, that we didn't know the rules of the game, and we're literally ants playing with elephants. But eventually we learned our lesson, and when we went this last time to Minnesota, we did win a game. We draw 1 game, and we lost the next game, and we conceived less than 5 goals. So that's to tell you how long way that we've come. And so far, the lineup that we have, just like I mentioned, we have a lot of surprise that the Columbus and the other teams are going to have a little taste of what we bring to the pitch. We are confident that the number of players that we have entering the pitch, at least the first 11 players that will enter will win. At least we see ourselves bringing home that cup.
Perfect.
And I'll
Brian,
leave it at that.
All right. Let me know if Brian can hear us now. Brian, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I'm getting you clearly, Ernest.
All right, Brian, what uh, criteria do you use to select those who are going to play? You have 19 members, but not all 19 play every match. So that 11 which you select and send to the pitch to play, what do you consider before you select them?
I have two things that I always put in mind. One,
All right.
personal performance, and two, that player's general contribution to the organization.
Mm-hmm.
I do have that part in me that before you can give the best to the public, you first of all have to give your best to the organization itself. How?
Mm-hmm.
Attending meetings, attending all the training sessions that we do, because we actually go extra miles, being out here, having that time to sacrifice. It's never easy, but what I personally do is I consider your personal performance and your general contribution to the entire organization. I'm not gonna maybe field you because I know you are a good player while you haven't been contributing as a person to the organization itself.
Mm-hmm. So I do understand that you have a limited pool of players, but again, you still have players who do play. Amongst these regular players, do you have some of them who have played football at a much more maybe professional level or semi-professional level? It could be third division football somewhere. You have such players.
I have like we have one now who actually
It looks
played
like
with
we still
get
have.
some few comments with the. Are you getting me, Ernest?
It's hard to get you. Maybe you check your sound again while Christian helps us take that question, if you don't mind. Christian, did you get the question?
Yeah, I think you were asking if we have any players that have played at a professional level.
Yep.
Yeah, we do have some great players. Last year, for people that watched some of our games, we had one of our top players, brother Bakenga, Kingsley, Ernest Bakenga. He played at the at the level of the Cameroon national team.
Mm,
We right now, he has some other programs and a little occupied, so we hope that he would join us in the pitch. If not, we do have some other great players that have played in some various clubs, around across the country and
mhm,
even in Columbus itself. And they also play. They also belong to, while they play for our club. We also have to do an outreach to some other brothers to come in and help us, because, as we know, majority of the people that we have in our club at the moment, like our president said, the registered members, they are a little bit outside of the playing capacity.
mhm,
So we have to reach out to the community to seek some help. But we try to be as raw as veterans come and bring true veterans to the pitch, so that
mm,
we are not, competing. We're not. This is not for money. It's to improve the health of the people that are playing, and
mm,
we believe that with the group that we've put together, that in as much as we focus on improving our health, that will show broadcast a good competition.
mm. That's interesting. But let me find out again about the composition of this team, which is a team of the Cleveland area. Roland, by Cleveland area, what do we mean exactly? I know there are cities around that area. So how do you get a team from this city? How does it work?
You're muted, President.
Right. First, as I said, we to come up with a team is not that easy.
Mm,
We go back the to the original reason of creating of the group,
mhm.
to keep fit. If we go to
Okay.
keep fit and we see that this person can kick the ball very well. And now Mr. Brian and Mr. Rene, they are going to use their biro or their pen, and they'll just write down this person's name.
Hmm.
And then later on during their private discussion, or when we are there having some good time together, they will corner this person like, Bo, I see that you are good at this. Have you done this before? Oh yeah, I used to do it, in a secondary school level, in a high school level. You're like, oh, that's good. But when do you used to play? Well, I could play the midfield, I could do 11, I could do 7, I could be a keeper. And that's how these two men, they bring up our team by asking first individual questions. And then now in the field, Mr. Sanka will now say, hey, you go and do 7. You go and do 2. You go and do that. And that's how he comes out with his lineup as far as the team is concerned.
And Mr. Sankar Brian is the coach for the Cleveland Area Veterans FC, one of the teams that will be taking part in this year's edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament that takes place in Columbus, Ohio from May the 23rd to May the 25th. If you are just joining us, thank you so much and welcome us on board. This is the 7th edition of Midwest Ball Rolling, reaching you live from the studio of APEX1 Radio this beautiful Saturday, the 10th of May, 2025. It's exactly 6 minutes to 11 here in the studio of APEX1 Radio. Same time in Akron, same time in Cleveland, same time in Toledo, and of course, same time in Cincinnati. Once again, thank you and welcome on board. I'll go back to Brian. Brian, if you don't mind, can you present your team? Who is who? Who plays in what position in the Cleveland Area Veterans FC?
Well, I have some particular striking positions that I don't joke with. We have like I love doing a cross formula within the pitch. Like I concentrate on my defense, midfield, and attack before I start looking at the wingers. So with the 5 position is our able NS Bakenga. He used to play with the national team. He has played with PWG Bamenda. He has played with Bambutus FC. He even moved professionally to Cyprus. And then we have Vivian, who lives about 2 hours away from us. He joins us during some of our sessions. He's the 4th position. We have a 6th position who is by the name Motorola. He's around us here too. We have in attack our 9th position, who was like a brilliant performer at the last NVT, Kenny. And then when I look at my wing outs, we have your P, who is our 2 position. We have going up the line, we have Jay. Jay played almost professionally here in the US before joining the US Army and then coming back to retire. I mean, it's somehow diverse because sometimes I'll have to maybe change positions, especially depending on the intensity of the match and then what we actually view technically against the team we are playing.
Wow. That's, of course, the formidable selection of the Cleveland Area Veterans FC. One of the sides that will be taking part in this year's edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. The tournament begins in 13 days here. There is going to be Anas Bakenga. We told he's played football at national team level. Kenny will be coming as well. Nyoki, Jay, and of course the other brilliant fleet footers who will be thrilling the football-loving crowd of Columbus. In the next couple of days, you're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling number 7, reaching you live from the studio of Apex One Radio. Tell us if you've taken part in, or do you take part in other local competitions, not necessarily the ones organized by the veterans. I know there's community football happening everywhere. So is that what you do, Christian?
Thank you for that question. So we so far this year, the last several years, we've engaged in competition. Bring different players from different teams from Burkina Faso,
Hmm.
and we've also made other outreach to the Ghanaians, to the Nigerians, to um, Ivorians, to see how we could maybe come together and organize a small competition.
Hmm.
It's been cold outside, as you know. The weather has not been the best this year so far, because since March we made arrangements to reach out to some of these teams, but they've sent out their complaints that there's still a lot of cold outside. We've not
Hmm.
been able to organize any competition. We are looking forward to right after the Midwest tournament to start engaging in these competitions so that we can prepare ourselves for the National Veterans Tournament. So right as we get back, we're going to hopefully be organizing a few competitions here and there, maybe one or two competitions to get us ready and prepared for the National Veterans Tournament.
Do these teams get really excited when they have to take part in a small local competition with a Cameroonian veterans team, knowing Cameroon's palmarès in football?
Yeah. So what happened is that we as an organization, as a club, when we invite other communities, majority of those people, they just go out to exercise. They don't put in their mind any monetary value. But when you put down a small token, like in the cup, and say,
Hmm.
well, this is maybe $500, this is $1,000, you know that when people come to the field, they bring their best abilities, right?
Hmm.
They come to win, they come to take that money. With that in mind, we think that one of the best ways that we can use to achieve a goal for preparedness towards the National Veterans Tournament is to organize teams with they say put your money where your mouth is to put
Hmm.
something in a cup, and so that those people not only will they show up, but they will show up with their best, and that would help us prepare.
Hmm. Coach Brian, do you only train your team when a competition is coming up, or even when there is nothing happening, they still train?
No, not actually. We always put the goal of the organization in front. Our main goal creating the organization was for exercise. I mean, we all know how US looks like. Um, we do understand that about 45% of early deaths in the US is from heart attacks. So what we did was creating the organization for general exercise before the football. So even in winter, we now go now to indoors. We do indoor trainings, we do indoor exercise sessions. Some of us like actually register in the gyms around where we actually do workouts
Mhm.
as a group sometimes and as individuals. Then I try as much as possible to encourage all the members to maybe have any means of exercise personally at home, maybe treadmills, maybe jumping ropes, or anything like that. As I told you, I'm a sports enthusiast apart from the football itself. So I try as much as possible to push my team members, not just the players, I mean, right to the president himself, everybody to join in. Keeping fit is our utmost goal before the football.
Hmm. That's interesting. I will stay with you to look at some statistics. I know it's a young team, just getting to 4 years old, so you will definitely still know the number of matches you've played, the teams you've met with, the number of competitions you've taken part in. Um, let's just look at some figures. I know Christian mentioned 26 goals considered in in just one competition a while ago.
Yeah.
You should have some other figures. So how many matches have you won so far? How many matches have you lost? You've definitely drawn some. How many of those? Um, let's look at your goal tally. How many goals do you have? How many goals have you conceded? And things like that.
I mean, if we have to look at that, we may have to go back to the original creation of the organization. I mean, we started as real veterans, what it means. You see one of our fathers who is even 60 years old wearing the jersey and getting into the field.
Hmm.
So our performance during our first year was really, really poor. I mean, if we have to come back regionally, like the mini tournaments that we have had around Ohio, we were in Michigan year before last for their fundraising. We supported them for their fundraising where I think we won 2 matches, and then we lost another two, and then coming back to Columbus, we were at the fundraising mini tournament for Rangers FC where we won 1 match and lost two, and then before that, we were in NVT year before last, where we considered that was our first year. We went for the NVT. We conceived about I think about 20 something goals, and we didn't even score a goal. But that was one of my proudest teams that I've ever had because we were the real veterans in that competition. Because our first team, I would say the youngest in that first team was about 45 or 40. And imagine somebody of maybe 55 getting to 60, pulling on the jersey for a month. So when I look, I will see we have been growing gradually, considering our performance in the last NVT last year. We did had a formidable team. We won 1 match, we drew one, and lost one. And it was really, really exciting because all of a sudden we had some newcomers into Cleveland who moved to Cleveland. Unfortunately enough, most of them were good footballers. So that's where we spurred up, and I was really proud with the team we had at the NVT last year. And then looking at this year, there is an improvement again because we have new players coming in. So when I look at the statistics from where we started and where we are right now, we have been growing and it's going up. We are becoming a threat already.
They are growing and, of course, becoming a threat already. So the other teams have to watch out, especially the 11 teams that will be converging on Columbus come May this year, May 23rd, for the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. Thank you if you're just joining us. This is APEX1 Radio. If you are watching us on Facebook, do well to share their video. And it's not only going to be football, it's also going to be entertainment and leisure. Of course, the veterans are good at that. They are very good at the entertainment component of it. It's not all play, of course. And remember, if you're coming to Columbus, be prepared to be part of the white party, which will take place on the 24th of May this year, the Veterans White Party, of course, and it will happen at Trio Entertainment. And if you haven't heard about Trio Entertainment yet, then definitely you don't live in Columbus. But if you do live in Columbus, then that is the place where you should be having your events. You simply have to get to that event center, book your event there, and it will be hosted with Pomp and Pageantry. Trio Entertainment Center is located at 2300 South Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43232. 2300 South Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43232. Of course, it's owned by a veteran member. That is where the party will take place after the games would have been played. Well, back to the Cavs. So, how would you rate the performance of the team so far as the president of the Cavs, Roland? Do you think your team is ripe enough to confirm what Brian just said?
Yes, if I want to rate the team is growing. It is escalating in a geometrical manner, not even arithmetic, but geometric. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, not 1, 2, 3. As he rightly said, teams are now afraid to even play with us. When the first year they were begging the management to, like, please, I want to play with Cleveland. I want to play with Cleveland, because they know that's where they will come and get their points and maybe to get elevated. But right now they're even refusing to play with us. And I bet you that's how the spirit has been going up, and it will keep going up to higher height.
And so in the past, it was Cleveland as a leeway to making points, but Roland is saying it's no longer going to be the case. So teams have to get prepared, because this time around, the Cavs are not joking. Christian, I know you've been part of this team for a long time. You've seen the ups and downs. There's definitely one of the games you played, I don't know when, but that game still remains fresh on your mind. Tell us about that game.
I when I went to Gwinnett, I had some issues. I could not play, but one of the games I remember very vividly was a game I played um, in Minnesota, one of the NBT games. I can tell you, these people don't come to play. Yeah, the level of competition and the preparedness blew my mind. Sometimes you watch, it's like watching professional football on TV, and you think that, if they put in the pitch, you can just make moves and then make it, But these people, they were way beyond my level of skill level. Um, but that's what makes you stronger, right? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You go back and you improve your training, you improve your engagement, you improve your competition, your competitiveness. So as I'm going back, I hope to meet the same group of people so that I can show them that maybe there's a new version of me. Yeah. So far, it was a great experience.
I will stay with you to find out if there was any game when the Cavs came from behind and drew levels and maybe ended up carrying the day. Did you ever have a game like that?
So in terms of being an underdog, I would say that transformation didn't take place in, how you have like a losing streak where you have maybe two goals to nothing, and then you come back and then you win the game with a 3-1 or 3-2 score to win. When we went to Gwinnett, during our first game, we conceded, I think it was 8 goals. During the second game, that was against Columbus, and that game ended, I want to say, in 10 minutes. Because after 10 goals, you forfeit the game. And that's what happened. The third game, everybody played defense, because even our best attacker, you tip the ball will go over him and land in front of him. And by the time he turns around, someone else has the ball, because, he's close to 60, like our coach said. But the transformation, the transition from being able to conceive those number of goals and then going to Minnesota and winning the game, we actually scored the first goal. And then they scored us. It was 1-1, and we were a little scared that we were going to lose. And then all of a sudden, we scored the second goal. That would be a part where I would say being an underdog from that standpoint would be just the transformational process that we went from Gwinnett to Minnesota and being able to win at least one game. And it wasn't just any type of one game. that we won. It was one game against Delaware, and Delaware are the original founders of the NVT. So that made us really proud that we were able to conceive, make so gain such an achievement.
Brian, I do understand that as a coach, you do not take an inferior position, be it the defending champions. But is there any team in the Midwest Veterans Tournament which you really do not want to meet?
Ernest, that honestly, that question I would have answered it maybe 2 years ago. Not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. I mean,
So
we are prepared for anybody now.
so be there, Vet Stars, you prepare for them. New Boys, you are ready. Columbus, you are ready. Michigan, you are ready. Chicago, you ready?
We are. I think they should be the people saying they are ready for us, not us saying we are ready anymore. Honestly, gone are those days. Honestly, gone are those days. I mean, if we have to look the 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 gradual transition from being a very weak team to becoming a threat, it has been tremendous.
Hmm.
I personally, as a coach, I would say I'm proud of the team right now, but it doesn't mean I'm not. I still don't have hunger for new players. No, I mean we grow every day. We try as much as possible to improve with time. But what I would say is other teams should now say they are not scared of us, not us being scared anymore. Gone are those days.
Hmm. I know there is no coach who would disclose their strategy prior to a competition, but do you have some new strategies, tactics which you're coming to Columbus with?
Sure, I do. I do. And sometimes it comes depending on the game and the team I look around for that particular match that I have. I do have that issue of like trying as much as possible to know more about the teams we're gonna play against. And then I send out some of my staff to watch their games and we go from there. We wanna know who is a threat, we wanna know who is who in the other team before we face them so that we should know or we should come up with a good strategy for our match. So that's how we do it. Just like another team, we try as much as possible to know who our opponents are, what they can do, where they are weak, where they are strong, how we can capitalize on their weaknesses, and how we can stop them with their strength.
That tells me you embark on an autocritic session after every game. Is that what you do?
Sure, sure, I do. I do. I point out everybody's mistakes
Mhm.
during the match and after the match. During halftime, we speak. When the match is going on, we speak. I'm that type of coach who is very communicative before
Mhm.
match and during the match.
Mhm.
I try as much as possible to call up my players, tell them what I see is going on. I, I, I always try to read the game. First, first 5 minutes, I already know what's going on with their team. I
Mhm.
try as much as possible to situate my players where I see either we can capitalize on their weakness or how
Mhm.
we can stop their strength.
Hmm. That's interesting. Christian, how much support do you get from the public of the Cleveland area before you go for a competition, and during the competition, just how much support do you get?
Um,
It's
Thank you for
huge.
that
I would
question.
say it's huge.
Mhm.
One, okay, go coach.
Yeah, I would say it's huge. I mean, when, for example, when we are going out, like most of our wives come with us, kids follow us. We have a lot of support from the community. Sometimes we even have support from people who are not even Cameroonians. We do have a particular support from the ladies around Cleveland that is tremendous. They actually come up with their own uniforms that we don't even know how they do it. We don't know how they planned it. They just surprise us, which has been one of the driving forces behind the team. Our support in NVT last year was like real crazy. I remember the coach for Michigan coming to shake hands with me and telling me, "Bo, man, you guys are becoming a threat already. We didn't believe we're gonna see what you did, because everybody came thinking maybe CAF was still the CAF year before last, until we took everybody on like a storm, because we prepared real hard. So the support has been tremendous, I would say.
Their support has definitely been tremendous. Created in 2021, the Cavs have come a long way. Today, they are determined, they are ready to come to Columbus in 2025 for a kill, and they do confirm that. And so they're live on radio today to talk about their state of preparedness ahead of the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. And here on radio, we're doing the Midwest Ball Rolling, which began rolling weeks ago. It is still rolling. And of course, it will roll up to May the 25th, when the final whistle will be blown to mark the end of the tournament. We are not yet there. It's still coming. And of course, the excitement is growing. Anxiety is high. Now, Christian, tell me, you double as administrator of the team. Logistically, how does it happen backstage? I know you're a small group of 19 people. That could give the impression that really not much happens, but I still do understand that to transport 19 people to a different state, state 2 to 3 days and back, it requires some huge logistics. How does it happen?
Yeah, so and as is even though we have 19 players, our membership is almost like a rolling membership, which means I think most veteran teams they experience is where it's very challenging to. It's one thing to have that motivation. It's like the honeymoon phase when you first create something, everybody gets excited. They want to join, everybody wants to be part of the process. But then eventually down the line, it's like swimming, you're swimming and in the middle of the water, you start getting really tired and you feel like you can't quite go back to where you started, but you have a difficult time getting to your finish line. We have that same level of challenge, and that speaks to our membership. Even though we have maybe 19 registered members, as the president said, we do have other members that kind of hang the periphery, and they have provided support one way or another, including members that are within the team. As far as the logistics for going to the Midwest tournament is concerned, we have a lot of outreach, we have a lot of connections to Columbus and a lot of connection externally as well, and even support from our own personal families, making logistics of where we're going to stay, transportation to and from the event, and then also our engagement with various activities once we're all out there, and what to keep us united and to keep us secure and safe, not to find ourselves in trouble. So we have a lot of committees. We organize a lot of committees. We have frequent meetings to discuss. We have different departments that we kind of engage with, and we divide the group into subgroups, and we have this group making arrangements for this group making arrangements for this, and that is, we think, with such a collaboration and a team effort, we can achieve a safe to and from trip to Columbus, as well as have a good stay, all of the various logistics that is involved in that entire process.
Columbus is just next door, which wouldn't be
Yeah.
an issue. But when you guys are going to Maryland, to Texas, to Arizona, to those far off states, how do you manage those trips?
Yeah, that one is quite interesting. So for the several years that we've been outstation, right? We've been to Atlanta, we've been to Minnesota, we've been to, depending on where we're going, we've been to Columbus, we've been to Michigan. Depending on where we're going, we make different arrangements. So
Okay.
if we're going that far out, we, for that same year, we try to include the cost of transportation. Well, we try to include some form of a cost. So we come out, we do a forecast of all of the things that the expenditure that we would be incurring for that tournament or for that engagement. So after we come out with that expense forecast, we share with our members and let the members know that this is what you be expected to pay. You can assume some or part of the responsibilities of that, and this is what the group is going to be coming up with. But as we know, we are not a for-profit organization, and we don't have money laying around somewhere. If it is to join the veterans group, whether it's in Cleveland or whether it's in other groups, it's entirely voluntary. You have to know that when you come, what you put in doesn't come out, right? It goes in and that holder just gets, we put a lot into that pot, we consume it, and then the following year we put more into it. I don't have streams to generate revenue. So we distribute our load based on what we forecast for the year, and we let members know that a lot of what we're going to spend is going to come from the coffers, and as soon as we get done spending, we have to replenish the coffers, and that is going to come from our own personal pocket. So we organize things into committees, and we ask them to present their budget, what it will cost to run their committee, or what if it's buying flights for everybody, or if it's putting gas in people's cars, or if it's compensating doing carpooling so that everybody goes at once, tasking our women to maybe make some food, also doing outreach to that particular area and make arrangements for food feeding arrangements. And also when we get there, if we're living in different hotels, we also do carpooling and various transport arrangements within that city. And then also keep communication, which is very important to make sure that everybody is touching base back and we're all communicating. And we have the group, but then we have different committees that have heads, and each committee is responsible for running effectively when we're out of state, so that everybody stays in check and have all of the resources that they need to function.
Right. It's not a for-profit organization, which means that when money goes in, well, it may not necessarily come out. Let me go to the president, Roland, to find out how this team gets supported. You are in a football organization, and today we know football has to do with a lot of sponsorships, partnerships, and so on. Are you working on getting maybe permanent, if not temporary, sponsors for the team?
We'll be glad to have sponsors. But as I now want to tell you that the group is 95% self-sponsor.
Okay.
Though we try to create our matrons and our patrons around the city to give some hands. But we are praying and we are striving to have some sponsors. And these sponsors, as I would tell my members, they are to come in and whatever thing they help us, it will go a long way to try to help get in those players. Not for myself, not for Chris, not for Asanka. Chris will be able to sponsor himself and his family. Roland will be able to sponsor himself and his family. But the small aid that, if at all we get it, it will go a long way to help us get those players which will come and give us some more light and some more power to our team.
Beautiful. This is APEX1 Radio, listening to Midwest Ball Rolling number 7. We are gradually but steadily moving to the end of the program. When we do come back, it will be the last phase, and we will be looking at how prepared. We'll be measuring the rate of preparedness of the Cleveland Area Veterans FC as they get set to hit the road for Columbus. We'll be right back with you.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from APEX1RADIO. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
Let the ball continue to roll. This is Midwest Bowling on Apex One Radio. Now we're running really fast now. Brian, quick question. Let us look at your MVT records. So how many times have you participated in the Midwest Veterans Tournament?
This our second year. I remember the very first year. That was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be in Minnesota also? I can't remember. But we actually registered, but finally we withdrew. And then last year we were in the Chicago.
Okay.
And this year we will be in Columbus.
Perfect. Tell us about the Chicago performance.
The Chicago performance there was an improvement from the year before last that we were out for the NVT, because we had some younger players who started coming in, and the score line was not like the one again in Guinea. So that of Chicago was really interesting. I mean, it was real good.
Perfect.
In terms of performance and in terms of the intensity of the competition itself, because I didn't attend the competition the past 2 years. That was in 2023, but I was told that it's gradually growing. And when we attended that of Chicago, it really showed that Midwest is actually like it's gonna be a competition that will definitely become great here in the US.
All right, perfect. I want you to pick just one team which you would love to play against, perhaps maybe for a revenge. Just one.
I'll not a revenge though, but
okay.
My goal
which
is
team
to
would
play
you want to
against
play
Columbus.
with and beat?
Columbus.
Columbus, perfect. Christian, which is that team which you want yours to play against this year? Just one.
Michigan.
Michigan. Perfect. So when I look at my groupings here, I see Cleveland area veterans placed in Group C alongside Michigan veterans, Sinde veterans, and of course, Windy City veterans. Then Group A will have Columbus, New Boys, Kansas City, and Mock Youth FC. Group B has Vetstar FC of Minnesota, Chicago veterans, Iowa veterans, and Wisconsin's Cheeseheads. All right, so those are the groups that will be taking part in the tournaments. So we have the groupings there. There is Columbus, New Boys, Kansas, and Mock Youth FC in Group A. Group B, you have Vet Stars, Chicago, Iowa veterans, and Cheeseheads, like I said. Then Michigan, Cindy, Cleveland, and Windy City veterans in Group C. Let me stay with you, Christian. So you have Michigan, you have Windy City, and Cindy. Difficult group. If they were to redo the groupings, would you want to stay in this group?
Yeah, I mean that is a comfortable group for us, at least, especially in the beginning stages. I think we are all closer to the same levels, the same level of weight. So I think I'm confident that we would prevail from that group.
Have you played with any team in this group yet?
Yeah, so we have some experience with the Michigan veterans, and so we also have some experience with the Cindy veterans. We actually had invited them when we did our luncheon back in 2022. I think it was 2022. That was our luncheon, 2022, 2023, and they came and played with us. I know that they're very powerful team, but they will see a new version of us.
They will definitely see a new version of Cleveland area veterans. So for the fixtures, we're going to have on. Let me concentrate on what concerns concerns Cleveland. Let's see what will happen on day one. So that will be on Saturday. No, let's see. There should be a game on Friday. There should be a game on Friday. So Friday, May the 23rd, we have where do we have Cleveland? Cleveland versus Michigan at
Yeah.
exactly 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be the first match. So, Christian, tell me, what is your forecast for this game?
My forecast for this game is I see ourselves winning Michigan 5-1.
5-1. Okay, that's very ambitious. All right, then game number 2 will be Cindy versus Windy City. Let me get back to the coach, Brian. Game 1 will be Michigan versus Cleveland. Is your heart beating?
No, come on, no.
Okay.
Uh, it happens that Michigan, I have a lot of family there. Everybody around Akron knows me and Michigan. We are like oil and water
Okay.
when it comes to the match. We are always like loggerheads. But I will tell you something. That's the highest team that have really been very close to us
Mhm.
everywhere we go.
Okay.
I remember they have even visited us where we live in our different hotels. Come, we dine together. But when it comes to the match itself, Michigan knows already that like Cleveland this year is not the Cleveland they know. They know already. So
Michigan,
We won a
yeah,
copy.
Michigan, the signal is coming to you. Cleveland of yesterday is definitely not the Cleveland of today. So be
yeah.
set. Let me find out from Roland. Roland, day one will be Michigan versus Cleveland. The match begins at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your forecast.
My focus is they might even decide to boycott the match for us
Okay.
to win, for us to, because they are really scared of us. But if they
All
decide
right.
to still come, I'm seeing us giving them 4-1.
Hmm. Okay, perfect. 4 goes to 1. That's been noted. What motivation are you bringing along to Columbus with Christian?
Um, I have a little bit of anxiety about going to Columbus, but I have a lot of backing from our group. I know the group that we've trained, the group that we're going with, we have like a solid background, and just within the veteran itself, CAV FC, we have a lot of support within the group. We have people, in as much as we have some backslackers, we also have a lot of people that want to push forward. Just the three of us here, in addition to to some of the other registered members, we have members that make a daily effort to engage, and that alone is enough motivation. And we also have our support system, which is our wives. They are always, at the in our back pocket, and they push us forward. You've heard stories about the veterans group, but we know that we have a lot of support. So just that alone it's enough push to enough drive to move us to the next, push us to Columbus and beyond.
Brian, if the tournament were to begin tomorrow, Sunday, would Cleveland be prepared?
Sure, we are.
Hmm.
I mean, we do have meetings. Some like last night we had a player meeting that ended maybe around 1 a.m. We spoke till about 1 a.m. We have work. It's we are we are
Hmm.
as
Okay.
long as we send our hands in to do the registration, we are ready.
All three of you have sounded very positive in this conversation, and it gives us the impression that, well, it's all rosy. Any challenges,
Yeah,
Christian?
we do. We of course we certainly have our challenges. Sorry, Coach, I may have taken your question, but we certainly have our challenges. With again every veterans group, um, we are in a very busy country, and people have to make a lot of arrangements to attend this tournament or attend this competition. And we also have financial challenges. We also have internal conflicts and different things. Again, we all learn to compromise and come together and come up with one agreement that can make the entire team succeed, because it's not my thing versus your thing. It's a group thing, and as a group, we all fall together and stand up together. So we believe that the preparations that we've made is going to move us to the next level.
Brian, what should the public of Columbus expect to see at this competition? Maybe Christian will take that question since Brian is frozen there.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you now. So, what should we expect to see see at this competition?
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge because one, Columbus is a city that's like it's busy. It's a very busy city. It's loving. It's hospitable, and I would say Midwest they did the right choice to allow Columbus host this year because it's a football city. I would say that it's a football city. We have, I think, about 7 or 8 different very good football teams in Columbus itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be huge.
It's definitely going to be huge, and the days are narrowing down. Just 13 days, it will be the start of the tournament. Christian, if you have a promise to make to the public of Columbus, because it's a talk in town, everyone is getting towards this competition. So, what contribution is Cleveland going to make? Right, so that this tournament comes out like the best since inception.
Yeah. So to our fellow Columbus brothers, we are all one family, right? Columbus is a stone throw away or a rubber gun shoot, depending on the hands that throw it. And we are coming out to support our brothers. Before we when we're coming to Columbus, we keep sports aside. In the absence of sports, we have a lot of engagement. We are constantly in Columbus, so we literally wine and dine together. So Cleveland will be bringing a lot of bells and whistles. We'll be coming in large groups. We'll make sure that we bring our group, because in as much as it's a competition, we want to be seen as a family and part of Columbus. And we also know that Columbus will be hosting the National Veterans Tournament. We ask that whatever Columbus needs, we're here. If they need our help, they've done some outreach that we're all one family, and we all want this to succeed. And we will bring our best to the table and want the Columbus people to know that we're coming to compete, but then also provide support.
And that camaraderie and solidarity will be celebrated even off pitch, especially at the Trio Entertainment Center, where the show will continue with a grand white party that is built for Saturday, May the 24th this year, with artists performing as well. There's going to be Ikiti Drogba and, of course, Kameni. Then it will be all fun. It's going to take place at Trio Entertainment, 302-300 South Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio, for 3232-2300 South Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43232. Thank you so much if you are just joining us. Special thanks to Evaris Capo, whose collaboration on this show is unquantifiable. Just a few minutes, we'll be running off this edition of Midwest Veterans Ball rolling. When we come back in a few seconds, we'll be saying bye to our guests on the show today. So do not go away. This is APEX1 Radio.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from APEX1RADIO. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
Let the ball continue to roll. We've come to the last stretch of this radio journey. Roland, there are definitely people out there who have listened to this conversation and may be inspired or motivated to become part of your organization. Now, do you have any special appeal to the public, maybe for support or any other thing? And if there are people out there who want to join you, how can they do that?
My dear brothers out there, just as the CAF veterans of Cleveland, as we are galvanizing to propel and to catapult to the edifice of Columbus, we are going there to show brotherhood. We are going there to be together. We are going there to make friends. And that is the reason why the veterans in the United States has been created or was created. Together we are always one and we will always be one. Let us be one another's keeper wherever we go.
Any contacts, phone numbers, emails, social media handles?
For the social media handles, we are on Facebook, CAF FC of Cleveland, while for the email is cafFC@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
With the phone numbers, personal phone numbers can be gotten. Anytime you get my phone number, even go online and you type Mr. Roland Atanga, my phone number is going to pop up. Once you get to Chris, the information will come to the group. Once you get to Mr. Asanka, the information will come to the group. Once you get to the social person, I'm sorry he's not here, Dr. Magnus, information will still be brought into the group.
Definitely. Brian, your last word as we sign off from this edition of the show.
I would say thank you for having us, Mr. Ernest. I mean, it has been a very interesting 1 hour 22 minutes, and I'll actually say thank you for everything you do to encourage not only the Midwest itself, but the general sports world as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Christian, your last word as we sign off.
Mr. Ernest, thank you so much for broadcasting, for what you do. And on behalf of CAF FC, on behalf of Cleveland, we want to let our Columbus brothers and our Cleveland brothers and all of the Midwest tournament fellow brothers that are coming and the entire family of the veterans across the United States know that we appreciate them. We appreciate the fact that this has been created. We hope to have a good sportsmanship, good show in Cleveland, in Columbus, and we encourage everybody to come out and support. Thank you.
Come out and support as they gear up for this edition of Midwest Veterans Tournament that kicks off on May the 23rd and will run through May the 25th this year. And of course, APEX1 Radio will be covering every bit of that event from every perspective. You can be assured of that. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. We wish you the best, and the rest of the story will be told when you get to Columbus on May the 23rd.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
you,
much.
buddy.
And for you out there, it was a wonderful pleasure being in your company in this Saturday, May the 10th edition of Midwest Ball Rolling. The 7th, of course, we'll be back perhaps on Monday with yet another edition of the show. Thank you once again. And to have a fantastic rest of the Saturday. But collaboration came from Evaris Capo. Thank you so much, Valentine Focha. Thank you so much, President Emeritus Achale Romeo. Thank you so much, Alman Kenyan. Thank you so much, Dr. Phil, and all the wonderful guys of Columbus Veterans Soccer Club. Marcel Atid was a producer of this show, and behind the microphone, I've been your host, Ernest Kanjo. I will be back again for yet another edition of the show. And until we meet again, it is bye-bye from this end. Do have a fantastic rest of the Saturday, and may God bless you.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from APEX1RADIO. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.